There's a lot of hype about squat challenges, but hardly anyone tells you what daily squats really do to your body. I tried it myself for a full month, and let's just say the results surprised me more than I expected. Today, I'm going to break down everything I learned and what you need to know before you try it at home. So, first, I'm going to tell you what 30 days of squats did to my body. Then I'm going to show you the exact protocol I used to get these results. And finally, I'm going to share how you can do the same, even if you can't currently squat. Remember, I got these results from just 5 minutes of effort per day, and you can do the same from any starting point. 30 days ago, I set myself a personal challenge with the goal of improving my mobility. I committed to sitting in a deep squat for 5 minutes every day for 30 days. And I was allowed to break this time up into multiple chunks, but I wasn't allowed to skip a day. So, let me tell you about my starting point at the beginning of the 30-day challenge. So, starting problems, I've been suffering with a stiff right hip, which seemed to have come out of the blue, but was getting worse when I was doing gym work like squats or leg presses. I also have a long-standing stiff left ankle after football injuries in my teens, which have always made squats tricky for me. And the third problem I had is a stiff mid-back, which gets worse after hours of sitting at a desk. My goal was to improve at least one of these issues within the 30-day period. And here is what I noticed. What happened. First thing I noticed is I was surprised at how difficult the squats were on some days, but how easy they were on others. On some days, it just felt like my ankles and my hips simply didn't want to loosen up. Second, after trying lots of things, I was surprised to feel how much of a difference this made to my painful hip. Sitting in the deep squat was initially quite sore, but that eased up after a few days, and by the end of the 30 days, the hip pain was almost gone. Third, by the end of the 30 days, I was getting significantly less mid-back pain when I was sat at my desk working. And I think this is because I was aiming to extend my thoracic spine during the squat, which is the opposite of what happens when you sit, and you can see that movement on the screen. Now, an unexpected bonus was an increase in leg strength in the gym. I felt like I'd unlocked new levels of mobility, particularly in exercises like squats and leg presses, and I was lifting more weight than ever. Unfortunately, the one thing that didn't change is my stiff ankle. Now, this is a long-standing problem, and I've tried to work on it for many years, and maybe I've just capped out my potential for improvement. So, that's what I noticed after my 30 days of squatting. I would 100% say it was a worthwhile effort, and I'll continue to do it, although perhaps not every single day. So now I'm going to show you how you can replicate exactly what I did at home, no matter your starting point. So even if you can't fully squat like I can, I'm going to show you what to do instead. But before I show you it, I just need to make you aware these steps are not suitable for everyone. Please get checked out before you try them and avoid it if it causes you pain. So here's the exact protocol. The protocol used. It was dead simple. All I did was sink down into as deep a squat as I could manage on that day and tried to hold it for 5 minutes. But some days I was too stiff to sit like this for a full 5 minutes. So on those days what I did was take a towel. I put it on the floor like this with a thick edge and then just put my heels on it. Now, that slight heel raise allowed me to sit deeper into the squat with less discomfort even on stiff days. The second thing I did to try and loosen up my stiff back is made an effort to try and push my chest forward and lift my body, which mobilized my thoracic spine. So, I wasn't sitting with a rounded spine like this. I was trying to straighten up like this. The next thing I did was gently just try to move my weight from left to right to try and get time. And I tried to just gently push my knees apart using my elbows. And then the final thing I did is when I started to feel a bit sore, I just came out of the squat just for a few seconds and then sat back down into it to make up the total of 5 minutes. But if you can't currently squat like I can, here is exactly how I would recommend you start. How to do it yourself. The first thing you need to do is to work out how far you can squat while staying comfortable. And all you do for this is a simple squat test. So take your feet nice and wide apart, take your hands out the way, and sit back into a squat by bending your knees and your hips at the same time as far as you feel comfortable. Let's say you get to here and it's like your knees a bit stiff, your ankles a bit stiff, maybe your hips stiff, you can't go any further. Take a mental note of this position, and I like to use reference points. So try and line something up in the room with eye level. So I can see the corner of my cabinet is directly in line with my eyes over there. So that is what I'm going to use as my marker, so you can use that as your limit. So how far you're going to go or be your starting point. and you can use that as a gauge of progress. Then we can move on to the second step. But before I show you the second step, if you're not happy with how far you can squat or you just like to improve it further, the one of the best things you special free gift can do is take my Stronger for Life road map. It's 100% free, and it will give you the exact exercises that you should be doing for your current level of strength and mobility. You can get your copy by following the link in the description box below. The second step, if you want to improve your squat mobility, is to use a chair to hold onto as you sit back. And this does a couple of things. So, you're going to hold your chair like this, and then we're going to sit back into that squat. Now, the first thing it does is it builds your confidence, because you know that nothing bad is going to happen if you get down, because you can use your arms to push back up. But the second thing it does is it allows you to very slowly sink deeper into that squat without fear of any pain, because you know exactly where you're going to stop, and you have much more control over the depth. You also aren't going to be limited by your strength, because as you start to get tired, you just put a bit of weight through your hands instead of all through your legs. So start with that, and once you've worked on that for a few days, we can move on to the third step. The third step is to move your chair so it's now behind you. And if you're one of the many people that can't get down very far at all, here is what I want you to do. Put 2 folded up towels on the seat of your chair, because this is what we're going to do. Instead of holding onto something now, because you've obviously built a bit of confidence, you're going to have the chair behind you and sit back onto the chair just until your bottom touches the seat. And if you've put a couple of towels down there, that's obviously going to be quite soon, because you're only going to be going down 8 or 9 in before your bottom touches. Then that's your signal to come back up. But this is a brilliant way to not only build mobility, but also strength in your legs before we move on to a deeper squat. So practice this, sinking down into the squat touch. I'm not sitting, I'm just touching. And then come straight back up. And as you build confidence, you can get rid of those towels, which means you're now coming a little bit further down into the squat before you come back up. So you're slowly building up that depth as your strength and your mobility improves, until finally you've got no towels whatsoever and you're sitting down, touching, and then come back up. It's a really nice way to build not just mobility, but strength as well. So, the next thing we're going to do is actually put your chair back to where it was before. We're going to hold on to the chair again as we squat, but this time, there's going to be a twist. You're going to take one of your towels like this, fold it over, and just pop it on the floor like this. Because one of the reasons people can't squat very well is their stiff ankles are the constraint. They can get down so far, but ankle stiffness is the limiting factor. We can take it out of the equation by doing this. So, put your towel on the floor, and you're going to stand on your towel with just your heels on the towel and your toes on the floor. Take a couple of steps back like this, just so you've got a bit of space. It's a bit of trial and error to find out the right starting point. Then, you're going to hold your chair like this. You're going to sit back down into the squat, but this time, I want you to just try and go a touch deeper. So, you're only going as far as you feel you can, but with your heels raised. You're now going to find this a little bit easier. And this time, instead of just going down and coming straight back up, we're going to practice sitting there. And I want you to practice doing it for 20 seconds. So, you're going to sit into that squat and hold for 20, and then come out. And I would recommend, if you're just getting started, do this 3 times over, with a 20-second break in between times. Okay. So it will take you 2 minutes to do this, but it's a lovely introduction to sitting into the spot. For your next step, we're going to do the same thing, but this time the towel is gone. So, let's test those ankles again. So, turn and face the chair, hold on, and squat down. And we're going to try and do that 20-second hold. But to progress this, you start like this. And I want you to try taking your hands off and putting your elbows against the insides of your knees. And then you can put your hands together if you wish, and just gently rock from side to side. Now, what this acts as is a little mobilization for both your ankles and your hips, loosening up both of those areas and improving your squat mobility. Just do 20 seconds again, 3 times over. And as you get stronger and more mobile over the next couple of weeks, add an extra minute's worth of work. So, another 3 lots of 20 seconds. And then the final thing we're going to do is put all of that together without the support of the chair. So, take yourself nice and wide. Sit down into your squat. Hopefully, you're going a bit further now than you were with your reference point. Put your elbows against your knees. You can put your hands together if you wish. and gently mobilize from side to side. And this time we're going to try and hold it for a full minute before we come back up. So sink into the squat, hold for a minute, come out of it, repeat 3 times over, and build yourself up very slowly over the weeks to doing it 5 minutes per day. So that is how I would slowly progress and to give it a try at home. I hope that's made perfect sense. Please drop a comment below if you're going to give this a go over the next 30 days or so. If you're still really struggling to squat like many people are, I have another video on the screen right now which breaks it down even further. So, it will improve your ability to squat no matter your starting point. So, click on that if you're interested, and I'll speak to you again on the next one.